guys, and welcome back to another Sketchbook Doodles video. So, I'm kind of recording this in the evening, so apologies for the lighting. As you can see, I have a few little Wonwoo doodles right here. I initially just had planned to paint the ones in the center, literally the ones with his little swooshy hair, but I decided to throw in quickly and kind of do a tighter, cleaner sketch of the two on the very right and the very left of him with the hat and the little headphones. But the two on the bottom are not going to be my favorites, just a warning, I guess. I think the two on the top were very much on the cuter side, as well as there's just more to work with. I kind of wanted to paint him from the Going 17 episode, which is the what is it called? It's like the treasure one, basically. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because Wonwoo has a really pretty hair color in that episode, where it's kind of like this dirty blonde, almost brown, like very light brown, blonde-ish hair. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a hair color that I don't paint a lot, but I thought it'd be fun to either put greens or blues or purples into the hair as well. So kind of like pushing and pulling different colors into the hair, because I thought it'd be fun to mix and match the colors a little bit and see if I can play with the values and the hues a little bit more. But also, like, his jacket's really cool, and I thought just the outfit would be kind of nice. I threw in the two last Wonwoo doodles that are sitting at the bottom, kind of last moment. I was gonna do like sketches around the two finished gouache pieces, but I decided that I wanted to paint these and maybe give it a go. I did sketch the one on the left first, and I didn't give him enough like forehead space, I guess. Not forehead, like the top of your scalp. It looks like his head's very squat compared to the rest of his jaw, so he came out a little wonky, and I thought maybe painting would have fixed it, but I think because I was in a weird headspace of just wanting to finish painting these by the time I got to that one, that I kind of forgot about what I wanted. So the one on the very right turns out a lot cuter, but like also the sketch was just cuter in general, so maybe there's that. But as usual, I am going to be laying down the base colors and just initial washes with watercolor, just for me to know what kind of values I'm working with, as well as potential colors, or yeah, it's just an easier way for me to work by having the gouache being able to adhere to something else. Let's see, so I'm starting with the two on the top, and I am working with the MIYA jelly gouache, I believe, 24 colors. And yeah, so I like to start off with the skin. I'm just laying down the lightest color of the skin first, and then I'm going to do the darker colors, and then we kind of mix and match a little bit to see if we need anything to look a little bit more smooth. I know for like gouache, usually you would work dark to light, but I think I found a way that works a little bit better when I start to layer up colors, that I kind of do a mix of both at some point. I think you can really see it near when I'm doing Wonwoo's collar on the left side, where I kind of have like that little blue patch, and his shirt's actually supposed to be kind of more of like a tan color. So I kind of put blues and I think a little bit of purple into his shirt, and I layer it up so lightly with such light passes of kind of like almost not like super wet washes. They're kind of almost dried brushed on, and it kind of looks nice, and I feel like that's how I kind of prefer to work if I can. It's hard for me to work the other way around, but I kind of have to do that for when I'm working on his jacket, just because it was easier for me to work dark to light, because majority of it was so dark. And I feel like the more times I paint maybe more moodier pics, or like moodier illustrations or something, maybe it'll be easier for me to establish going from dark to light instead. But yeah, I had a lot of fun painting the two top Wonwoo ones, so I could just play around with adding blue tones to these warmer colors and push the shadows a little bit more. I really liked how I did the collars on both of these ones. I think it just looks really nice, and it was just fun to paint and being able to layer so many colors up. I initially thought these were going to be a little bit painful to paint. I usually don't like painting sketches that I'm super attached to, and the one on the left I found very cute looking. It's very much like a generic way how I draw Wonwoo, so that's probably why. So later on in this video, I actually have a little bit of footage of something that I initially had planned, and it wasn't a painting session. It was just gonna be me doodling, but it got so out of hand that I'm just gonna show you guys like a little snippet of my favorite sketch from that spread, just because the rest are a little wonky, and I didn't realize how much I botched it by not paying attention. So in my rough sketch, maybe I'll talk a little bit about it when we actually get there, because maybe you'll see a glimpse of it. So let's talk about this a little bit more, or we'll talk about something a little bit different. But yeah, his hair, you can see, is kind of like either this really light brown or kind of like this blonde color, and I just had a lot of fun adding colors and, I don't know, pushing for different things, because I feel like I struggle painting lighter hair because I feel like I go dark too fast, and I might have done that for this one as well, but because of gouache, you can kind of layer up lighter tones on top of dark. I think I found a good mid zone or a mid area where I went back and kind of lightened up the darker areas with kind of like purples and blues, so it looks a little less harsh. But yeah, so I did skip last week's sketchbook doodles video just to make sure that you guys went to watch Saku's video or Veda's video, and I didn't want to kind of put two videos out at the same time, so I wanted to make sure that was like the only thing that was up. And then yeah, I've been trying my best to sketch in the sketchbook a little bit more. I'm actually super close to finishing, so I'm gonna try my best maybe in the next day or two, probably 2 days or so. I'm gonna try my best to just finish up the sketchbook. I'm just gonna find stuff and just sketch as much as I can, because I would like to have a new start with a sketchbook very soon. I have something else planned as well, but I don't know if it's gonna come true, if that makes sense. If it does, then it'll be something that I would like to start using immediately. But for now, I do have the blue version of this sketchbook, which is like done by LilyPichu, and I made sure to buy both because I am a huge carrot, and blue and pink, I just like immediately my eyes went to it, and I was like, they're on like a discount, might as well just buy it now because I won't have another opportunity to buy sketchbooks. So yeah, I believe the blue LilyPichu sketchbook that I have, like the Stay Comfy one, is the last sketchbook that I own currently that I have planned out. I've been sticking to these 5x7 sketchbooks for so long. I think it might be a little bit too ambitious, but if my idea does not work out, what I have planned for the future, I don't want to say it out loud quite yet, and you might be able to hint at what I'm talking about, but until it comes true, I'll do something with that instead. But like for now, I'm sorry that I'm being vague. It's just because I don't know if I should talk about it quite yet until it comes true, that I will let you guys know in full, and like I'll probably do a video about it or something. But if not, I'll just keep it on the back burner until I can find some other way to make it come to life. But for what I was talking about is that I was thinking that maybe I should reuse some of my old 8.5 by 11 sketchbooks, and I feel like that might be too ambitious, but I think it would be good for me to use that to do larger works or more full bodies. So something I struggle with using these kinds of sketchbooks, as you can see, like I pretty much always draw headshots or like maybe waist up if you're lucky, right? Or like crouching sitting poses or anything like that. And one of the reasons is because I hate drawing the face so tiny just to fit the body in nicely. So I think that if I do a larger sketchbook, maybe it'll give me a better grasp at drawing like more fluid poses, and I can draw more full body poses a little bit more easily without feeling constrained. But the commitment for me to go into such a large sketchbook is pretty much double the work, because it's double the real estate of the sketchbook, and I don't know if I'm up for that quite yet. I do like the paper in them. It's very much like the paper that I'm used to. It's a little bit more rough than these kinds of sketchbooks, which are super smooth and a little bit like thicker paper. The other ones are definitely ones I've used for like studio practice back when I was in uni, as well as in high school. My art teacher in high school, and she was also my art club advisor, she would give us sketchbooks to use for the club. And I think one year we had small sketchbooks, which was really nice. But for every year starting off, we always got new sketchbooks, but I only used maybe like a 10th of the sketchbook if I was lucky. I think I've only used like maybe a 10th, like maybe a 5th of the sketchbook for 1 year. I think for my drawing class second semester of the first year, we did a lot more drawing because he required us to do like drawing assignments and a lot of brainstorming, so I did a lot of that in there. But I have so many unused ones. I'm just thinking if I should just like cut out the pages from my studio days, compile them all into one folder by itself, and then just reuse the sketchbooks. I think it'll just be good practice, but I don't know if I want to use that for like the new sketchbook doodles, like as the primary sketchbook. I always love using the smaller ones because they're just more compact. I can take them anywhere, and I feel like they're less commitment, but we'll see. Maybe I just have to learn to be less precious with them. So you can see how I'm kind of botching up this one a little bit because, like, I don't know, I think it's like his facial proportions I just really don't like. And also the one on the right that I did for the top two, his eyes were a little botched as well. I think they're a bit far apart, so it's like it's hard to see where he's looking. He kind of looks like he's a little bit cross-eyed, but I don't know. So I didn't talk about these two sketches in particular. I have random photos saved on my phone from when I'm browsing Twitter, just for, you know, like potentially if I would like to draw it or sketch it, maybe do a study or something in the future, I have it on my phone so I don't have to go on the internet and like actually just search it up. And these ones are from, I think, the Hua Live, which is like the Chinese gaming live stream that 17 often frequents. And it was S-Cubes and Wonwoo this time. And I actually didn't hear any news about this, so I got photos of it and like stuff like fairly after. I'm usually like up to date usually with their Hua Lives because I love seeing them just like play around, play games, mess around with the translator, and the translator kind of messing around with them and stuff, and it's really cute. But yeah, this one totally slipped my mind, and I usually don't draw Wonwoo with his hair not showing, like just full forehead exposed. I usually draw him with bangs and stuff, like a fringe, just because I prefer softer looks. But I did like this look. I think he looked very like, I don't know, clean, sleek, and just very minimal, so I thought it was very cute. It's just the sketch looks very, I don't like it. I just don't like it, and you know, that's okay. I will do better on the second one, and I'm trying my best to do a little bit more gouache painting every so often so I don't get too rusty. I think another problem I had with this one in particular is that I was using such thin washes, so his shirt on the left side got really muddy, but it kind of works out because it is in shadow, but it does look a little weird in a sense. I'm adding a little bit of white to the rim of his glasses just to make it stand out a little bit, like it's in front of his eyes rather than just like right on his eyes. And this one's a lot cuter. The proportions are definitely off. His arm that comes forward is a little squat, so there's that. But I was just sketching these like very rushed because I just really wanted to paint. I feel like I always have those little like fluctuations of going ham with digital art, and then I'm like, I want to paint, and then I go paint, and then I go ham with digital art again. And I feel like because of that, I haven't done very many finished pieces of like traditional art in like a while, and I kind of want to do more finished stuff soon. We'll figure out some time, but I'm also lazy because I don't want to cut out watercolor paper and do the sketch, and then I have to tape it down to the best of my ability, because I could pre-stretch it, but I don't have the proper tape. Or like, maybe I should just grab my Masonite board and like purchase a staple gun and see if I could staple the paper to my board after taping it down, and it'll be like pretty much dry flat, but I don't want to bring masonite board up to my room. It's been stuck in the basement, and it's been into like our, what is it called, the workshop at my uni and stuff, and it's like sawdust and everything. I don't know. If I find a way to cure or like put some kind of surface on top of the masonite, maybe I will, but the masonite just reminds me too much of the workshop, and it's like all wood chips and stuff, and I'm not, it makes me feel like my skin's itchy, so I'll try to avoid that. I'm not sure why I painted his nose a little bit differently. I think it's because I was confused on the lighting source, but as per usual, I don't plan a lighting source, so apologies about that. Another thing I was going to talk about in sketchbooks, since this is the sketchbook doodle series and my mind's going like light speed right now because I can't focus on one thing at the moment because I feel like I have so much to say and I can't say it. But okay, so the reason why I wanted to finish up the sketchbook as soon as possible, which is what I'm gonna do in the like next 2 days or so, hopefully, and just go ham, just because I'm finally free from deadlines. Most deadlines. I have one more deadline, 2 more deadlines, Hoshi's birthday as well, so 2 deadlines that I have to do. But I'm pretty much free other than commissions, so that's good. But I can work on commissions more or less on my own pace, so that's nice. But for the sketchbook I want to finish it because this sketchbook I feel like it's the opposite of how I usually have sketchbooks, where usually when I start a sketchbook, I usually start off super strong, and then in the middle I kind of get art blocky, kind of like less motivated. I feel like I've done everything very too like repetitive, because my sketchbooks are very much like for like comfort zone drawing, a little bit of studies, and like anything that helps me relax. So yeah, and for the sketchbook I've actually went the opposite. So I didn't have a very strong start. If anything, I had a very weak start, like super weak. I think the first 6 spreads in that sketchbook I hated, and then I switched into gouache more, and I started loving like painting and drawing in that sketchbook. And then now I'm hitting downhill again, where I feel like, what do I draw? Like, am I filling up the sketchbook because I want to do it for videos? Like, am I drawing for myself, or is it for relaxation? Like, I'm feeling stuck again, and I feel like I just need to revisit some 17 or OC stuff and just sketch this mindless sketching, because I feel like that helps me the most, and then I can treat it more like studies rather than aesthetics, I guess. I feel like more or less these days I'm trying to fit in aesthetics, which is why this one became such a gong show. So I initially filmed all of this, but I'm cutting it down so you guys are only focused on the one sketch of Kazuha. So I bought glue sticks for once. I bought a glue stick pack, and I finally can just basically paste in post-it notes back into my sketchbook. Now I used to use post-it notes to cover up things I didn't like, or to color block, and I used to use like those really neon ones, and it looks really nice especially if you're using other markers along with it, and it looks really nice and minimal if you have it like limited to like a 2-color palette. But for this, I added too much color. I used pencil crayons, and then because I was adding value to his face, I want his face and his hair to pop out more on the brown, so I was trying to pull out the colors. And then I realized this pen absolutely hates drawing on top of pencil crayons, so I was struggling. But this sketch I think turned out pretty cute. The other one where my hand is resting on, I got too confused of how I sketched him out, so I overlapped his arm where it wasn't supposed to be, and then I made his shoulder where his hair was supposed to be, so like everything is just wonky. So I'm just showing you guys this sketch, hoping for the best. So I do apologize that you guys don't get to see pretty much the full spread. If you'd like to see a full spread, just wait maybe a week or 2, and hopefully I'll have a sketchbook tour of this one and we can just move on. Yeah, I'm hoping to get a new sketchbook soon. If not, I'll look into that idea of using the bigger one, just because I need to find something that works with my pens and watercolor a lot more. This one's been a little bit of hit or miss with the mediums I like to use, but overall I like the sketchbook, and it's great with gouache and pencil, so that's a plus. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me basically do gouache for like the billionth time in the sketchbook, as well as drawing Kazuha another time. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys another time with another video, and hopefully next Monday will also be a sketchbook doodles video. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.